Early this morning, the Minneapolis Police Department, with other partners, successfully cleared Plymouth Avenue of debris, the barriers and fires, and are opening the streets as we speak. It was time. We have been balancing the safety needs of the precinct with the right for people to protest and have their voices be heard. But the increasing safety risks and impact on the neighborhood and impact on our ability to provide service to the city made this morning the time to do that. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank our officers at the Minneapolis Police Department for their professional and excellent work this morning and having a positive and peaceable outcome. I also want to thank the protesters who were peaceable in their withdrawal, while not voluntary. Their peaceable withdrawal did make this morning go smoothly and well, and I appreciate that. It is time to pivot to a moment of working together on the issues that we all care about to create one Minneapolis and move forward together.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. The past 18 days have certainly been a challenge for many. Certainly for the residents of the 4th Precinct and officers of the 4th Precinct. This situation is very complex and something our city certainly has not seen. Our priority has always been public safety. That's been number one. Every officer in this city has been the consummate professional over the last 18 days, and I continue in my unwavered support of their efforts, of their professionalism, and their patience. From managing the occupation, to managing marches, to investigating shootings, they have continued to do their job. And that's just in the 4th Precinct. We have to remember that the city hasn't stopped, that our community needs police officers throughout the city, and they have responded incredibly well to the 911 calls that they've had to field. Although the occupation certainly has been asked to leave, we knew that this day was coming since it was very clear that they would not be going on their own. So we spent a considerable amount of time putting together a plan that we felt would be best for the safety of all involved, our officers and those protesters. We had, fires and structures and things we had to consider. So once the plan was together, we, along with the assistance of Minneapolis Fire, Hennepin County EMS, Public Works, Property and Evidence, Metro Transit Buses, Metro Transit Police Department, the University of Minnesota, and Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, began to clear the site shortly before 4 a.m. Officers gave the protesters 4 dispersal orders. They were also given the order in writing. The notice was also posted near the precinct. We allowed them to leave on their own, to just move outside of the perimeter, and not everybody left. So we did make 8 arrests in total, 7 for obstructing the legal process, and 1 for trespassing. The arrests were done without incident, and I'm happy to say there were no injuries. Fires were put out by the fire department, and the teardown began almost immediately. Property was put into trailers, and information is provided to those and how they can pick up their property. Fencing is now being placed around the precinct so we can secure it. I do want to make notice to future protests that we will continue to support and facilitate your First Amendment rights and freedom of speech. But we will also support and enforce the ordinances of the City of Minneapolis and the laws of the state of Minnesota. And that includes such things as putting up tents, fires, blocking streets for extended periods of time, not allowing for folks to get through. I want to again thank our officers for their patience and for their professionalism, and I want to thank the residents of the 4th Precinct who have also been patient and supportive of all of our efforts. With that, we'll take questions.
How will you deal with the call for occupying City Hall? Will you do something different this time?
We're going to continue to respond in the way we have, in the sense of allowing that facilitation of freedom of speech, but we will not allow structures or the beginning of what we will see as an occupation.
When City Hall closes at the end of the day, will you require people to leave?
Yes, we will.
Why did you choose choose that specific time for around 4 o'clock this morning for the city to look in?
Well, once there had been, time had gone by and we knew that the occupation would not end on its own, we certainly have been doing extensive monitoring of the protest, looking at time of day, what would be the best time for everyone involved, when we had the best resources, and so it was very strategic in how we did it with those things in mind. There again, public safety is our #1 priority.
Do you have any idea about overtime costs? How much it's costing the city, the police department since this occupation took place?
I can't speak for the city, but I can say for the police department, the last number I was given before today was approximately $750,000 in overtime.
Is that through the 18 days or just today?
That would be before today.
When is the last time either of you met with Black Lives Leader or NAACP leaders, and do you plan on meeting with them again anytime soon?
Conversation with various groups of protesters have been happening consistently since the 15th. I've had personal conversations, high-level leadership at the city have had conversations every day. Hands have been reached out, mediation has happened, negotiation has happened. It became clear that that was not going to lead to the voluntary removal from the 4th Precinct. But that said, you know, the conversations need to be ongoing. I am still, you know, willing to have conversations with folks and have extended that hand.
There were 8 people arrested. Have they all been released? Or they weren't? Or how did that work?
I'm not sure their current status. I think some of them have been released. They've been processed, so they went to Hennepin County Jail for processing.
How long do you plan to leave these barricades up around the 4th Precinct along Plymouth Avenue?
I don't have an end time for that. I think we need to ensure that we have security and that we're at a next phase of, frankly, the protest and the occupation. And when we feel it's safe to be able to do so, we need to keep the streets clear. But we also, certainly at its earliest opportunity, we want to make sure that we return the precinct back to the residents of the 4th Precinct.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.